You got a thing about being muted, man.
Yeah, I was on the phone. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the 174th The Political Spotlight. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. I've had a great weekend. Give me just 1 second here as we continue to share the show down groups that I need to share it down. I was on the phone right before I got on live here, and that's why I was muted right at the beginning. Before we get started tonight, I feel it's probably most important that we take a little bit of time. Let me get this pulled up here. I should have got this started beforehand, but I didn't. So we want to do this. Oops. There we go. Hold on here. Right. Woo! All right, there we go. Before we get started, and before we get carried away into the show, it's probably most important that we do this. Happy birthday, grandmother! It's my grandmother's. It is my grandmother's birthday, and if you notice, I said what birthday it was there, and we accidentally got muted, and so. In case you didn't hear, I'll say it is my grandmother's birthday. All right, so today is her birthday, April 7th, and she, I think, is having a good birthday today. I was with them last night. Was over there today. Was supposed to go back this afternoon, but got a little tied up, and so I was unable to do that. But I'm going to be over there tomorrow, going to be doing the whole solar eclipse thing from their house. So that'll be an interesting experience to do the birthday, to do the solar eclipse event with my grandparents. And so, yeah, today's her birthday, and I think she's had a good birthday today. Actually got out of the house today, went and did the whole church thing today. So she was up and at it and getting back to life. While we are taking this time to tell her happy birthday, and everyone is wishing her a happy birthday, I will take this opportunity to pass along a little bit of information that's private information and that I didn't put around in a phone call just because things got a little late. FYI, Grandma, if you are watching and listening, and I know that you are, the physical therapist called me and they will be there tomorrow morning between 9 and 10, or either 9 and 10 or 9:30 and 10:30. So one of those two things. So prepare for that. Just FYI, he did call me and he said that they needed to come a little bit early tomorrow. So he will be there then, and I will be there shortly thereafter. Okay, well, this 174th episode has been brought to you by that very special private message right there. All right, so yeah, today's her birthday, so thank you for the birthday wishes there, telling her happy birthday, and I'm sure she enjoys that very much. Hello there, Counselor Ingram. Troy Ingram's here. Candidate Ingram. I also need to give you a couple addresses, folks, or Troy, rather, of some people that you can put some signs out. I'll do that tomorrow, Troy. I'll send you those addresses. I've got some addresses for you to put some signs out, so I will do that. Yeah, so I see what EJack is saying tomorrow. Cannot wait for tomorrow to be over. I'm sick of hearing about the eclipse. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. We do have a lot of politics to talk about tonight, but we do have some eclipse talk tonight because I do feel that there is at least a little bit of eclipse talk does kind of fall into the political realm, and I will explain why. I will explain why in just a moment, and so we will do that. I do have to tell everybody that, man, what a divisive post I put out today. If you are not friends with me on social media, I know a lot of our viewers do not have Facebook. And I didn't put it on Twitter. I probably should have. Maybe I'll just upload it on YouTube to see. But this morning when I was leaving my grandparents' house, I made a post kind of taking the piss out of everybody from the government. And kind of also, poking a little bit of fun at the eclipse deal. I want to start this by saying, last one in my life, so I'm headed down to Canon comments. Hey, look, I get it.
Charlize is going to outlive all of us.
Yeah, right.
She's full of crap.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a pretty good possibility. I mean, listen, I don't know if that's true. The next total solar eclipse that will touch Muncie will be in... No, she's probably correct. The next total solar eclipse that will touch Muncie is not until 2555. So, no, I think she is actually accurate on this one. I do not think that any of us watching this, including my 1-year-old nephew, I don't think any of us will be here in 2555. So that's probably a pretty good assertion. I will say the next partial eclipse, however, is in the next partial eclipse is like in 20 years. So, that is what it is. The eclipse has just been an excuse for politicians and bureaucrats to waste more of the people's money. Well, waste money, but then also an attempt to collect money. I think, Joe Black, what you're talking about is just a partial eclipse there in 20 years. I was looking at this today. Let me pull this back up. Solar eclipse. Had a really nice okay, yeah, this is really nice. I'm gonna send this up and put this on the thing, because we were all just talking about being tired of this subject, but I will go ahead and pop this up on the screen because this does fit in with what we're talking about, and it does the eclipse is just yeah, I read that. You just stepped away. Give me a second. Yeah, let me pull this up. So as I've said many times, I am absolutely a space fanatic. I love all things solar, lunar. I love all things looking upwards and trying to guess what's up there, trying to determine if we are truly a flat Earth or not. You know how it goes. You know how we do here. Give me a second. Let me get this large enough to where we can see it. Solar eclipse timeline. Yeah, this is kind of cool. July 29th. That's just 3 days after my birthday. 957, the last total solar eclipse seen from Muncie. You understand what that's saying there? The last total solar eclipse seen from Muncie for the United States was probably a coast-to-coast eclipse that placed much of the northern Indiana in the path of totality, including Muncie. For Muncie, totality lasted 2 minutes and 44 seconds. July 29th, 957. December 26th, 1125, the third annular eclipse seen from Muncie in the second millennium. September 14th, 1205. And now listen, these dates are really interesting because during these dates, like in the 1205, 1869, well, 1869, a little old by then, but during like 1200s, 1400s, 1500s, the people back then would look up and see these solar eclipses and think that it was like the angry sky gods coming to tell them that, it wasn't like they didn't know what it was. And everybody lost their minds and hid in caves, and it was crazy. Very much like kind of what people are doing today. The last total solar eclipse seen from parts of Indianapolis. The last total solar eclipse seen from parts of Indianapolis. The path of totality also cut through 7 other state capitals to varying degrees: St. Paul, Madison, Springfield, Nashville, Frankfurt, Atlanta, Columbus. For Muncie, however, only about 98.5% of the sun was covered. And while that's a lot, that is not enough. All right.
August 7th. Charlize say that that's completely not true, that she was around for all those eclipses.
I hear the background people are laughing and like that too. I loved it.
That would be grandchildren who are mad because they got told no.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a nice grandma.
That's hilarious. August 21st, 2017. Most of us will remember that. That was a fun time. That they called that the Great American Eclipse. I don't understand why. I feel like this should be the Great American Eclipse because we can see it all. Who cared about the rest of the country? But it was called the Great American Solar Eclipse. Great American Eclipse. It was the first solar eclipse visible across the entire United States since 1918, and the first total solar eclipse seen anywhere in the mainland United States since 1979. For Muncie, about 91% of the sun was covered. That was a great time. I was in Winchester at the time, and we watched it. It was pretty wild. October 14th, 2023, the second annular solar eclipse worldwide of 2020s, and the only one of the decade where the path of annularity goes through the United States. For Muncie, about 42% of the sun will be covered, and of course, that was last year. And then, of course, we have April 8th, 2024, tomorrow, Muncie's first total solar eclipse in over 1,000 years. All right. Then we have 3 days before a birthday, in 2093, Muncie's next annular eclipse. All right. Cool. September 14th, 2099. Next nearby total solar eclipse after 2024 occurs in Fort Wayne and other nearby cities. So I'm sure that we will be in a place where like 98% of the sun will be covered again. But if you'll want to see a total solar eclipse, you'll need to make the trek with hundreds of thousands of millions to Fort Wayne. And then in June 3rd, 2505 will be your next chance to stand in the streets of Muncie and see a total solar eclipse after the one tomorrow. So since that's our next date, I kind of figured it might be important for my grandparents and I to maybe do this together. So I figured we'd probably we kind of would do that. Oh, father's birthday tomorrow. He would have been 101. Well, happy birthday, Charlie's father. That's well, last year would have been a big milestone. Tomorrow it's just like, well, we've got 99 more. So yeah, well, happy birthday. Heavenly birthday. Let me take this down here and we'll get on with the show here. Please explain how solar and lunar eclipses work on a flat Earth. Yeah, it's very, very easy. Great and lesser light that is put in the sky that goes around in workings like this. One is further up than the other, and it's basically the same principle as the situation in which we have the solar eclipse now. The moon goes in between the Earth and the sun on the flat Earth model. And then for the lunar eclipse, essentially someone grabs some kind of a light and shines it from the back of the disk up onto the moon, and they turn the sun out, and there you go. It's real simple. I mean, I don't know, like, that seems absolutely I went totally every intention of looking at. Oh no, that's insane. And what did it do to you? I do want to say, hold on, quick. Let's get the. Oh my God, my glasses are off. We got to have some kind of. We are not attorneys. Alert up there or something. Let me get my glasses back on and find that. Or Kate can find that. Disclaimer: we are not attorneys or optometricians, and we cannot offer any legal or eyeball advice. But while we are here, tell me what is going on with looking at this crap with the naked eye. Listen, I want to so bad. I just want to look at it and say, I'm not using glasses, but I am so afraid of it. So I will not do it. I'm so afraid of it. I actually was like cutting up a pair of glasses today, making a filter for my cameras. I was like, now I understand like the Canon cameras and things, you absolutely need a filter for, but as a welder, be careful. Yeah. My father was a welder, and I am definitely aware of that. So yeah, right. Absolutely. So listen, this is something I'm very happy about. We're going to get into politics, and we're going to have a big show, I promise. But before we do that, and this ties into it, I promise. I'm very excited about this. I am very excited about the solar eclipse. I cannot wait until this starts tomorrow. I was waiting for someone to say that. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for someone to say that, Charlize. So, thank you because if someone didn't say it and I went on for very much longer, I was just going to have to bite the bullet and I was going to have to say it. So, thank you very much. That's hilarious. Okay. So, today I woke up and it was a beautiful day today, this morning. Wonderful, wonderful. And, I'm very much a space head, like in more ways than one. You might even say a space cadet. And so I love the idea of what's going to be happening tomorrow. I have taken a lot of amazing pictures of astronomy um, uh, events and various aspects of space. I just love all of this. One of my greatest things on life was seeing the Northern Lights from Muncie when just shortly in the fall, winter, in the late fall, early winter period, right after 9/11, actually scared the hell out of me. I was down here in Muncie just doing my thing and was just living my life. And all quickly, I see a flash of red in the sky. And of course, I'm thinking, holy crap, like what in the world? We're under some kind of terrorist attack or something. And then I quickly realized something's up. I better go inside. And I went inside and I started looking through things, and the news came on right around there, and they just happened to say many across our the Hoosier land are seeing the Northern Lights. And as soon as I realized what it was, I went back outside and watched it for several, like probably about another hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, just standing there, and it was amazing. So I do want to go someplace north into Alaska at some point or something and see the Northern Lights like for real in all their glory. That would be amazing to do. So that's very, very cool. But I cannot wait for tomorrow. It's going to be great. That being said, like most people, I want to celebrate it privately, have fun, maybe share some pictures, and move on. I just cannot believe the insanity that this has turned into. Um, I understand people like taking it and running with it, all of the hype and everything, all these governments were talking about it. And I can tell you it was actually a Henry County commissioners meeting was the very first time I heard anybody talking about man, maybe we should cancel the government for that day and have people not come in. And I was like, wait a minute, why? Like, look, I'm cool with them closing the building so their workers can see it. Like, I would be cool with that, but they were actually talking about it being like treacherous to be out and everything. And I was like, what? Like, you guys are talking like we are living in the Stone Age again. Why are you talking about that? Then everyone's like, well, it's just because there are going to be hundreds of thousands of people here. And I will tell you, the very first time that I heard that hundreds of thousands, if not more, were going to be traversing our lands, and there were going to be 100,000 people in Winchester ready to watch this thing, I like fell over laughing and laughing and laughing. I was like, what? You guys got to slow down here. What are you talking about? And so then it quickly like got out of control. States of emergency were being issued in all of these commissioners. Declarations of emergency were being issued in all of these commissioners meetings. Then Holcomb declares it a state of emergency, and that is when I realized this is all a money thing. Their hope is to declare this a state of an emergency so they can cash in on the federal money that we can get. If there's going to be money out there to be had, by God, we're going to do it. And that is exactly what's happening. Muncie streets are so dead today, I thought it was election day. I'm telling you, Audie has been working on that joke. He told me that at like 11 o'clock today. I wasn't going to say it because it was his joke. It was a good joke. I'm glad he finally got a chance to say that. That made me happy. I filled out my will and updated my dependents list. Again, though, I think that's pretty a good thing for you to do, Ryan, on a routine basis, just to make sure nothing changes. A lot of governors are cashing in Bilbrey. Oh, absolutely, Jack. That's exactly all this is, and it's so sad that that's it's like that's all it is, and the thing is, a lot of these little small town governments like really went out of the way, like Knightstown and Newcastle and other little places went out of the way to like have like little festivals come to the town, and they set up all of these little carnivals and rides and things, and then like nobody extra came. So really, 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 like what I was hoping is that the people who are in these areas where they did this, like the citizens of the community, like Muncie and Winchester and Knightstown and wherever else set up these little events, I'm really hoping that the citizens of the community will go out and at least interact with these little small shopkeepers and whatnot and the people that are set up, because I would hate to think that these people are the people maybe that traveled a distance to set up to thinking that these crowds were going to be real, and then here we are, the state of Indiana, we're going to disappoint because our governor and our local officials are idiots because they've been telling everybody that it's going to be this massive, massive ordeal. So today, Newcastle has been packed all 3 days. Now, Brenda, in fairness, when you say that Newcastle has been packed all 3 days, I want to know exactly what you're saying when you say that. Because to me, you mean like the festival has been busy? And I mean, like, are you finding it hard to travel Newcastle? Or it's just been like, let me ask you, is it busier than like a shopping Christmas season? Or like compare this to something, or is this busier than that? Are you saying that Newcastle is actually crazy busy and it's or okay, Yeah. So, all right. So the festival's been busy, which I'm happy to hear that. To me, that means that the Newcastle citizens, okay, the Newcastle citizens are coming out. I don't think those are people from like uh Terre Haute or Terre Haute might be in the past.
Christopher, I don't know if it's just me, but you seem to be coming in and out with your sound. Is anybody else noticing that, or is it just me? And now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
No, I couldn't a second ago. Now I can hear you again.
Let me pull up our sound.
I'm sorry.
We're good on my.
Yeah, but Ryan is saying cutting out. Roger, are you saying he's definitely fading in and out? And it's not just me. Fades in and out some. Oh, Jack's got some good news for you.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can fix it.
Thank you, Roger. Roger's in and out. But Jack has some good news for you. After the eclipse, a meteorite carrying a Flowbee system will enter the Earth's atmosphere. Thank you, Jack, for keeping us up to date on things like that. It's important.
Yes. Yeah, I hear it. Hold on.
Can I go away again? I don't know if the finger's for me or himself.
Check. Can you hear me? Am I fading in and out? Are we bad? Is it good? Can you tell me where we are? What's happening? Does anybody know?
Seems to be steady right now.
Seems to be steady right now. Okay, very good. Let me know. All right, so here's the thing. If we are having trouble with the audio, just start putting a bunch of zeros in the comments. If we're having trouble with that, let me know. We have some people from out of state. I spoke with people from California, Michigan, Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. Well, thank you, Brenda, to come on here and completely deflate what I'm saying. I guess that makes me happy. I mean, that makes me happy. Look, it maybe maybe people got to Newcastle. They were headed to Muncie, and they were like, "Well, hey, this is a little town here. It looks cool." And they just stopped there, and that's all the further they got. I am happy if that is the case. And look, will we have a handful of people here tomorrow? Will there be some Muncie people that come down to the uh, Cannons Commons? I'm sure of that. Have I heard of some areas in which the city government of Muncie have kind of dropped the ball on this big celebration? Absolutely. Say what that is as of yet? No. I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow evening to probably tell you what that is. But it's very gross when things like this happen, and we see this is just be aware that this is what the government does. They screw every single thing up, and this is just one more thing that they seem to have got wrong. So it is what it is. Check. Man, I don't understand. Okay. We're going to try it one more time like this. And if this is a problem, we'll just cut it and we'll go away from the mic for tonight. I don't understand. I should not have this continuing. I should not have this continuing problem as frequently as what we're. Is it raining? It's not raining. It's the rain, you idiot. We shouldn't be having this much. It's the eclipse. No, it's been a continuing problem that we've had, and I don't know why. I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and do some. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and do some things, spend some money, and that's no fun. So, all right. So because of all of this, I tell you what, I took a lot of heat for this amazingly, which I absolutely love. Here's the video from earlier today, the breaking news announcement from this morning. I will bring it to your attention now. Here we go. Here I am, folks, on the south side of Muncie on Sunday, April 7th, 2024. And as you can see, the road is lined with people, hundreds of thousands of millions of people on the sides of the road. It's taken me exactly 4 hours to traverse 2.5 miles. Oh my God! We needed a state of emergency for the eclipse! What are we gonna do? We're all gonna die! So many people! Oh! Oh, the humanity! Oh! How are we gonna ever survive the eclipse tomorrow? Oh, the people! So that was from today, and a lot of people were like, hey, you idiot, the eclipse isn't till tomorrow. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go down the same path tomorrow and show everybody that the same amount of people will be there tomorrow that was there today. So I guess it was kind of a joke, folks, but the whole point was I don't think that this is going to be as big of an event as what they said. So that kind of sucks, but we'll see it here. We'll have some pictures of it here, and we will do what we'll do what we can. So that then brings me to the next big point. Yes. So Jerry, that's who I'm talking about, is the vendors. That's who I'm talking about. Are the vendors, those people that bought into the hype of the government, who came and said, hey, we're hardworking people. We want to come set up and peddle our wares and make a little bit of money. And then I just hope those people aren't, wasting money or losing money because it's not actually going to be what the government prepared it to be. And so that's what's very, very sad. And I hope that citizens, yeah, you heard me well there. Yeah. You guys all heard me there. Yeah, right, Audie. I just hope those people that were doing that stuff get something out of this. I guess I hope that's the case. I hope that citizens show up and show out for those people. And like Charlize said, I do have to say Michelle Owen has really been working it. Now I got to be perfectly honest. The whole ordeal with the Muncie woman thing, I wish it was like, okay, that's a good thing. Drop that Muncie woman thing now. That really just it gets on my nerves. It's grating. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But I'm sure I do things that they don't like to. So it's probably all fair. That being said, I have heard that there are some others outside of Michelle that have dropped the ball and kind of put her in a spot where all of the hard work that she has done, some of it might have been for naught. So we're just going to have to wait and see what goes on because from what I'm hearing, I can't really talk about this until tomorrow. We're going to have to wait and see what happens because maybe it'll be a fluke and just things turn out all right. But we'll talk tomorrow about how there were some communication problems, of course, with the city of Muncie, and I'm not blaming Michelle. It is not Michelle's fault. It would be other people's problems and other people's fault besides Michelle. Michelle has worked hard to try and put something together. So I do want to say that. That's very, very, very important. Yeah, I breathe. They don't like that. I think people are being ridiculous, charging $20, $100 for people to park. Where's that happening? Brenda. I'm sorry, Chris. People from California said they've been following this for 2 years, and we had in Henry County the longest totality with the cheapest Airbnb. Yeah, see that what about the eclipse supposed to be both? What do you mean? Supposed to be both? Yeah, right. Shirley, I jest. Don't call me Shirley. Yeah, I will keep you posted. I haven't heard of anyone charging to park around here. Of course, I guess maybe wait, whoa. Are you serious? Have you had people parking on in some land that they've been paying that much money? Have you had like people that are coming there and saying, "Hey, we want to park in your field or your parking spot"? I don't know where that would be, but do you have some kind of parking spot where people are wanting to pay that much? That's mind-boggling. I've just not seen these people. Oh, no, but I was okay. No, but I was offered. Yes. Okay. Well, that's the other big thing is because so I guess my thought is, when are these people supposed to get here? Because in my opinion, what I thought that the government was leading us on to believe was that a bunch of people were going to pour in like on Friday night, Saturday night, maybe even Sunday evening and be here. Now, I'm not obviously out and about right now, but the parking lots looked very slim at a lot of the hotels around, at least in Muncie. I'm just talking about Muncie now. I do also want to say, for those that are interested, I am putting this up here. Oops. No, that didn't go out the way that I wanted it to. Stand by. We'll get rid of this. We'll just do it like this. I think this will probably work. This will be funky, but we'll see what this looks like. Start time for tomorrow in Muncie, just so people know. And it is a little messed up. Start of the partial eclipse is 1:52 p.m. Totality begins at 3:07 p.m. Maximum totality is at 3:09 p.m. Totality ends at 3:11 p.m. and end of the partial eclipse at 4:24 p.m. Now, for the record, that is just for the city of Muncie. That's just for the viewing area. Technically, it's just for the viewing area around Ball State University. So please, 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 if you are not from here, maybe you'll have to Google your time, and all you need to do is type in start time of the solar eclipse, and it'll pop up. But that will be easy for you guys to follow if that's something that you're interested in. That is, if that is something that you're following at all. So you might want to just take a look at that from your area. But for those in Muncie, check your local listings. Absolutely. That's the times. 1:52 p.m. the start. Totality begins at 3:07. Maximum totality at 3:09. Totality ends at 3:11. End of the partial eclipse at 4:27 or 4:24. Now I want to be very clear and tell you again, I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I will be wearing my eclipse glasses starting at 1:52, looking through it. After 3:07, when totality begins, after Bailey's beads are over, you can remove your glasses and look at it with your naked eye. And you should be able to do that in the Muncie area for just about 3 minutes. And what people don't understand sometimes is during the total eclipse, you can remove your glasses during totality. And look, and that's when you'll see, to take in the perfect effect, look off in the distance, look through the trees, look at the ground under trees. If you are really adventurous, you could take out a white sheet and lay it on the ground and look for the squirmy snakes as they crawl away. But you'll want to be able to do that without your glasses on. During the eclipse, you can look around without the glasses on, but if you want to look at the sun, you'll need to put your glasses on. So be very, very, very clear about that. So Memorial Park, a public veterans park, is charging for parking, not personal property, taxpayer owned. That's a little funky. Woo! That's a little funky. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. That's strange. All right, so now let's tie this in. Obviously, we've been talking about the government screwing this thing up or whatever, and I was in an argument with. So I had two conversations today. And one conversation was about this eclipse thing. And from there, I was talking to somebody and, they were saying like, oh, this is just Bilbrey being negative. And I'm just like, no, dude, I'm excited about this. I am absolutely excited about the solar eclipse. I'm going to go. I've made sure that people in my family have glasses. I want to go celebrate this. I'm going to go out with my grandparents tomorrow. I've made sure, that my mother and stepfather have glasses, And I want to go and look. And for all of you people, if you don't have glasses, I checked. There were some glasses at McClure's, but they sold out. You can get glasses at Speedway on McGalliard for 50 cents. They're selling them now for 50 cents per glasses. And now don't just go and buy handfuls of them if you don't need handfuls of them, obviously. Buy only what you need. But yeah, they are there're still places to get glasses, and they're cheap. So they are loading in at I-70 in Greenfield. Who are loading? They're loading in what? What's loading in at I-70 in Greenfield? People? I think I'll sleep through it tomorrow and catch the next one. Alva, you idiot. So I was talking to this guy today about this. We were in a private chat, and I was like, no, I'm very excited. I just don't like, look what happens when the government gets involved. Okay. The government got involved, and now this thing is it's big and crazy, and it's like almost too big and too crazy. And it just doesn't seem, it just seems a little wonky now. Okay. No, that's the thing. If you buy glasses, when you buy the glasses, you want to make sure that it says, and it will say it on the left side of the earpiece of the, they look like the old 3D glasses. They're paper, and they put on your face, and it will say let me see here. All right, I'll tell you right here. I'll pop it up right here. Yep. Check the arm for the ISO 12312-2 label. It'll look one of two ways. I'll put it up here on the screen. Let me see here. Or okay. Yeah, it'll look, yeah, she's got it there. Yeah, there you go. One of those two things. As long as your glasses have those markings, you are safe to go. Or if you have professional welder's glass, if you have a welder's mask or have the professional welders like the glass, then you're good to go too. So that's that. And again, do all that shit on your own. We're not giving you advice. And if you get your eyes put out, that is not the fault of the political spotlight, unless you're looking directly at the political spotlight, and then we put your eyes out directly. All right, so that then takes us to this fight. This guy was like, hey, you're being negative. And I'm like, no, I'm just tired of the government screwing everything up. And then from that, I had another completely different topic. And this, I wanted to talk about the whole solar field thing, the whole solar field. 75 tomorrow too. Shorts weather. Yeah, not the solar field. That's another topic altogether. The solar eclipse ordeal. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight. But then this interesting discussion happened, and I thought, all right, I can use this time to talk about both. As we move into the discussion about the government and the main part of tonight's topic, I didn't show you earlier. Well, coming in, you saw it. Here's the thumbnail. Just checking in to see if you're still the person I thought you were. Just checking in to see if you're still the person I thought you were. And that was what the person said to me as we were beginning our conversation. And as we begin this part of the show, I'm going to ask you to please do the thing. If you're on YouTube, hit like. We have really been doing well on this on our shows in the past couple of weeks. So please go in there and hit the like button. If you have not hit the subscribe and you're not subscribed, please do so. You can do that for free. If you want to join, you can do so for under $2 a month. It's very helpful to us all, but you don't have to do that. Subscribing is the main thing. Hit the bell so you stay up to date when we release content and or go live. And of course, share the show with everyone you know, and comment with us because we like to be interactive with you. So that's the big thing there. That being said, I do want to say parking along the highways, visitors. And that'll be interesting to see if what goes on with that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. And, it might be a thing like they're going to be somewhere maybe, but they're not going to be here, and that's going to suck. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we need to take a little bit better accounting of things like this in the future. That might be beneficial for people. I don't know. That being said, I had this conversation, and I want to read this to you, and I'm not going to out this person because I don't want to out this person because I respect this person, and even though we had this bizarre conversation, I thought that this is very, very important. So, someone today that I've talked to, I'm not a friend with this person. We're not friends. I probably couldn't pick this person out of a lineup. Matter of fact, if this person came up and was like right in front of me, I would have to ask this person their name. I wouldn't know what this person looks like. But someone messaged me today, and their message said, this is how the message started out. So you used to not like Brand, meaning Stephen Brand, and now you're all buddies. So are you going to be open about all the truth about Brand, or do you only care about the truth for some? Okay. And I'm like, And then the very next message said, I'm just checking in to see if you're still the person I thought you were. Okay. What are we talking about? Well, first of all, I'm just checking in to see if you're still the person I thought you were. That's a funny statement. Like, there are a couple of you watching now, at least two of you, and at least one of those two people are not my mother. So short of my mother, the at least other one of you that's watching, like, my question to you is, who am I to you? What do you know about me? Other than coming on and watching me every night, or every other night, or watching me whatever period of time of your life you watch me in. What do you know about me? You know what I say to you. You know how you see me interact. You know the elected officials that I go after, the elected officials that I support, the things that I say, the things that I do. But really, outside of that, you get me. I think you're a jerk, but I think you have a good grasp of local politics and honesty in talking about it. Kate, see, Kate knows me. Kate knows who I am, so that's very true. Like I said, I always used to tell my ex-wife, I am either an asshole with sunshiny personality, or I am a sunshiny person with asshole tendencies. One of those two things, and I don't really know which one. They're both very similar to it's like saying it's going to be partly cloudy or partly sunny. It's the same damn thing, but I don't really know which is which, and to me it doesn't really matter. It's all the same. So I'm fine either way you wanna say it, is basically how I am. I'm not your mother, but I know you're a very level-headed, straightforward kind of guy. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Josh Fisher. But honestly, and this is the thing. So I come on at 9 p.m. and we talk for an hour and a half. We talk for 2 hours. Maybe sometimes we talk for 3 hours, 5 nights a week. Maybe sometimes you come on and you watch 20 minutes. Maybe you watch 30 minutes. Maybe you watch the whole thing. Maybe you watch in repeat. Maybe you watch some of the shorts I put up. Maybe you watch some of the meetings. But outside of that, you know, you guys don't know me as a person. Now, I always say that this is not like a character that I put on. I am who I am here. Now, there are aspects of my life that I think for a little bit of entertainment purpose, I kind of this is like this aspect of my life is like the word that I hate that I can't say, the caricature. Okay, when you go to the little festival and you sit down with the guy and he draws you and your partner, and he gives you the great big head and makes you the great big googly eyes. Okay. Outside of that, that's supposed to be you with like enhanced weirdness. Like, you know, they'll normally take a part of your personality that they see. They'll be talking to you during it, or, you know, you might have a little puppy with you, and so they give you a picture of a puppy with a big head too, you know, and then they take you home and you hang that on your wall, or you leave it in your car or whatever. And that's that. But there are very few of you who know me like very personally. Like Audie says, you're a very private person. I am a very private person. And that blows a lot of people away, because they're like, wait a minute, how are you private? You do this thing. Outside of this, I am a very private person. What blows me away about government and how we look at government and how we look at other people looking at government and how we support who we support and how we see other people supporting who they support. It's strange. When I say that I am a constitutional conservative, that I am a right-leaning libertarian, I am telling you, and I've said this before, I am telling you how I look at laws and how I look at the world and how I look at things. That's how, if you just dropped me out of my life and into some kind of an elected seat or into some kind of governmental seat, that's how I would govern. Now, in my opinion, how I feel that I would make decisions on these issues, that in a lot of ways determines the people that I support, but in a lot of ways it doesn't. So this person goes on and says, are you going to tell the, are you, let me get back to this. You used to not like Brand. Now, I I want to say this. So I don't know why this person would necessarily say, I used to not like Brand. I have never specifically had an issue with Brand. What I did was, when the ATF stuff happened, I went down to the house where the ATF stuff was occurring. I took pictures of what was happening with the ATF. I was called as the search warrant was happening. A source called me and I was notified as the search warrant was happening. I went down and I took pictures. I've got to be honest. When Dan Ridenour appointed Stephen Brand to be on the Muncie Sanitary District, I did not know Stephen Brand. Everything that I learned from Brand, I learned in a few 15, 20-minute meetings when Brand would conduct the Muncie Sanitary District board meetings. Brand seemed very quiet. He seemed unusually quiet. He was someone that appeared to never give his opinion. Now, in politics, that's kind of strange because that's what a lot of it is based around. All right? I thought that was odd. He and Audie got into it at a meeting one time where he was wanting to shut Audie down and not let Audie talk at a meeting where there were no other people, and it was like they were wanting to stick to the three-minute rule, even though there was no one else there. And the reason they were wanting to do that was because Audie was speaking. He wasn't being rude. He wasn't being out of the way, but he was calling them out on something. Now, since Brand has been a candidate, Brand has been very outspoken. I since have learned that Brand was quiet back then because although he was a member of the Muncie Sanitary District Board, he wasn't an elected official, and he thought that it wasn't his place to interject his opinion in a lot of different places. So I'm okay with that. Now, as a candidate, he understands that he has an obligation to voice his opinion. And if elected, he would do that. Now, one thing that I know is Brand is running on being a true conservative. Brand has been outspoken against 1338. All right, that ignorant decorum bill that JD put forward, that's now going to be law. Brand has been very outspoken against that. Brand has been very adamant that he will let people speak. And let me be clear, there will come a point that I will question Brand about the time he shut Audie down. Because I will make sure that he remembers that he did that. I will show him that. I will ask him why he did that. And I will be sure to ask what guarantees we have that that will not happen if he is elected. Now, listen, I do believe that he will probably, I don't know how, I have a belief in how I think that he will react to that question. But no matter which way he goes, okay, they will. He will be better than James King, because I guarantee you, James King is not a fan of public comment. He does not want someone you hear how he acts. The very first time someone questions him, he goes off the hinges, he yells, he carries on, he is nasty. We are in a situation in which we have, in this Republican race, we have two choices. We can vote for James King, who needed to be gone before he got started. We have Stephen Brand. Okay, let's bring up the ATF thing. First and foremost, the ATF is past the point of charging him. Stephen Brand is not going to be charged with anything. If someone is charged with something, they are innocent until proven guilty. They are innocent until proven guilty. That is the way it is. If he was charged, he would be innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. He is not charged. He is not going to be charged. He is getting his guns back. There are people going, Audie just said a few moments ago, I heard he was raided because he was in Washington, D.C. I want to be very clear. It was the call. It was the toss of a coin, the flip of a coin between me going to Washington, D.C. on January 6th to cover it as a political commentator, as someone that was interested in what was going on nationally, and me staying home. I literally flipped a coin. If Audie remembers, it was Audie and I who talked about going to Washington, D.C. If I would have flipped the coin and if I would have been like, yeah, let's go, Audie and I might very well be being called traitors by all kinds of people right now. Now, just because you go to Washington, D.C. when something pops up, that's like saying every person who went to the Boston Marathon the year of the Boston bombing is a terrorist. That's not true. People went to the Boston Marathon to run it. People went to watch, and something bad happened, and they were there the day that it occurred. If Stephen Brand went to Washington, D.C. on the day of January 6th, he did not go into the Capitol building. He was not part of the people trampling over, people here, left, right, whatever. When he saw things were getting out of control, he got away from it. That's the same thing. That's the same thing that that's the same thing that would have happened if I would have been there. Well, I mean, I would have wanted to capture what was happening media-wise. I would have definitely wanted, to capture all that stuff. I wouldn't have been, trying to hang Mike Pence. I wouldn't have been trying to, do a whole bunch of craziness. I would have been there at that point. In my opinion, that would have been very media-oriented. All right? And it was literally the flip of a coin that made the decision on whether or not I went. People act like, well, you're going to vote for Stephen Brand. Listen, I've been yelling since 2022 that 2024 was coming. All kinds of other people could have filed to run in District 1 commissioner's race as Republicans against James King and against Stephen Brand, they could have filed to run as Democrats against them. Now, there is a Democrat that's running, but that person is through the race. I'm friends with Roger Overby. Roger Overby is running for county council at large. I haven't talked about Roger Overby running because he's already won his election. We'll talk about that on the other side of May 7th. I'm not talking about the presidential race because we have a primary race here in Indiana that we've got to get through first. This person who says that they wanted to know if I'm still the person they thought that I was. I went on and I said, LOL, what? The person said, I've noticed a lot of love for Brand. I'm just curious as to what changed. I said, I think you're a bit confused, but I can clarify. It's not specifically a love for Brand. It's a hate for what James King has done as a commissioner. All right. James King has not been good for Delaware County. I don't care what Mike Jones says. You cannot trust Mike Jones. His dollar bills in his pocket are there because James King has a job as a commissioner. He is not an unbiased source. His daughter is taken care of because his son-in-law's job comes from James King being commissioner. You have to understand the importance of what I'm saying here. You can't take those people for serious. I said, it's like all of the people back in 2016 that voted for Trump, not because they liked Trump, but because Trump wasn't Hillary. And it's like all of those Democrats in the last election that didn't like Biden, but they voted for Biden because he wasn't Trump. Brand is who he is. He's who he's always been. And the person answered me and said, a traitor? A traitor? What makes Stephen Brand a traitor? What proof do we have that Stephen Brand is a traitor? Stephen Brand is unhappy with the way that this country is going. I don't care if you are a Republican or you're a Democrat. You can't be happy with the way that things are today. I don't care if you're obsessed with, and you got to talk about the presidential election, and it's all pro-Trump, Trump derangement syndrome, love Trump, love Biden, hate Trump, hate Biden, whatever. Folks, one of these days you're going to have to wake up and realize that you are so much more touched by your local and your state government more on a daily basis than you are the national government. And if you ever truly want protection from the craziness at the federal level, you are going to have to elect strong state government officials. And the only way you're going to get strong state level officials is to elect good local officials. Stephen Whitmer, local politics are the most important thing to worry about. Local politics are the most important thing to worry about. Local politics leads to state politics, and state politics is what protects us from a runaway federal government. Delaware County needs rid of James King and so many more. We could replace this with Troy Ingram and Sherry Riggin. We could replace this with Amber Green and Jessica Piper. We could replace this with Roger Overby and Eugene Whitehead or any number of other people. I'm never going to call someone that happened to be in Washington, D.C. a traitor because they happened to be there when something crazy popped off. By the flip of a coin, I could have been there. Then what? I would have been a traitor? I am always who I have always been, and this is the problem, and this is the situation that we get in. I go through these spells where I'm really heavy talking about the Democrat Party, and so the Republican people love me. But they should be watching themselves, minding themselves. They need to forget themselves because I'm not happy with them anymore. And then I speak out against them, and the Democrats go, yay, he's one of us. No, I am who I've always been. I am a common sense driven, constitutional, conservative, right-leaning libertarian. That has never, ever, ever changed. It doesn't change because I support some Democrats that I personally know. And it doesn't change because I call out government, the government officials that are Republicans that are bastards. That's never going to change that. People think because I call out Ed Carroll that I certainly can't be a Republican. Just because I don't bow down to the dumbass Republicans that we have here in Delaware County or the state of Indiana does not mean that I am a Democrat. So many people get that confused. That said, I am a man, so I allow a woman to have the first and important and most important say on abortion. What do I know about abortion? I don't have a daughter. I'm a man, so I'm going to defer to women on that issue. I am a Christian, but I have friends that aren't. I have friends that are Jewish. I have friends that are Muslim. I have friends that are I think I have a couple friends that are Hindu. I think they're Hindu. Or whatever that religion is. I'm a Christian, but I don't have an issue with gay people. That's not my place to judge that. I will love and respect everybody and give everybody the baseline level of respect that I give all humans. If a person is born a man and the person says that they feel that they are a woman, that's not on me. I've got no issue with that. I know if I all of a sudden started feeling like I was out of body, I'm probably not going to run and say I'm a woman. But if someone else feels that way, who am I to say anything different? I don't want to be forced into anything at any point, anywhere, for any reason. Outside of the trans issue, inside the trans issue, anywhere. I don't want to be forced into anything by anybody. But I have friends that are going through that walk. And if there is someone that feels that they are not something that they feel that they are, and they want to be called something different than they were at some other point, I'll call you whatever you want to be called. I'll call you Batman if you want to be called Batman. I also have friends that are that do voodoo and are witches. So yeah, I identify as the truth, Jack. I like that. I definitely have at least one black friend, so I'm about as that makes me as black as it gets. I gotta say, I think that for being pretty white and sometimes very unintentionally daft with all of that, I think I have a pretty I'm a pretty good holding in the black community. I think the political spotlight and Christopher Bilbrey is loved by the black community. Maybe that's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe Mary says maybe I just maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll eat some green beans tonight. I don't know. I call out Republicans. I'll call out Democrats. I have had issues with Brand, mostly related to some of his support around Ridenhour. I'm sure that it won't be the last time. I had no issues calling out Dennis Tyler. I thought I've never been a fan of Ali Craycraft. I was not ever a fan of Will Statham. I was not a fan of Victor Whitehead. I am not a fan of Ed Carroll. Ed Carroll is an absolute joke. I supported Jeff Robinson as council president. I support Troy Ingram. Supported Troy Ingram as counselor. I supported Jeff in his run for mayor. I also felt that a lot changed with Jeff in the way that he communicated. Jeff's communication style with me through the election changed. And I was unhappy about it. And I let them know that. I let him and his campaign team know that a couple of times. He lost, and I didn't like that. I don't think he lost because his communications with me changed. I think he lost for various other reasons. I think that if he would have won, we would have maybe had to battle some things out for a short time around communication, but I think things would have been better with that. Muncie's worse off because Ridenhour won. We are in a bad spot because Nora's on the council. I personally believe that. I believe that we're in a bad spot because of the council makeup currently. Those are just some of my opinions. I'm very open and outspoken about my opinions. This person goes on. I said, I'm an open book. I'm 100% the same person I've always been. You're going to like some of what I say, and you're going to like some of what I support, and you're going to not like some of what I say and some of who I support and what I support. And the Republicans are the same way. Democrats generally don't like me. Republicans generally don't like me, and I feel that means I'm doing a pretty damn good job. This person said, I respect a lot of what you say, but I will always be me as well. And okay, great. I think that's how people should be. Hating people and what they stand for in government is normal. Raising the other side because of that is a slippery slope. That's not what I'm saying. I am a conservative, so a lot of what I align with aligns with Brand. A lot. It doesn't mean I like everything that he stands for I disagree with some of the things. I have an issue with him shutting Audie down that time. I'm going to ask him how that jives with how he's going to govern. This person said there are people who are running who are only doing it because they think it gives them some kind of upper hand. And I'm like, yes, James King, Jessica Piper, Eugene Whitehead, Bradley Bookout. Absolutely. Absolutely. David, I've got a couple of those hair picks too. But this person said another group of people. This person went on and said, there are people who are running because it gives them some kind of upper hand. And I'm like, who? This person says Ryan Webb, Amber, and Brand are all on that list. And I listen, I got to be honest. I don't see that. I don't think that. I don't believe that. I talk to Amber frequently. Amber's very outspoken. She is very opinionated. Sarah Beach is a really good friend of mine. Sarah Beach says, a lot of people think that I'm bitchy. I'm not. I just have an opinion and I don't mind sharing it. I got to respect that because I'm the same way. I mean, if I was a woman, would they call me a bitch? Probably. I don't know. I respect Sarah for being tough. I respect Amber for being tough. Do I agree with everything Amber says or does? Nope. Does she agree with everything I say or do? Nope. But Amber is running because she wants to do better in Delaware County. She's a mother. She's a business owner. She wants to be better. If you guys don't like those, listen, if you don't like Amber and you don't like Ryan and you don't like Stephen Brand, I promise you, you can't like King. If you don't like Brand, you don't like King. If you don't like, listen, does anybody? I'm going to say something. Does anybody think for a moment that Scott Alexander feels differently about like the trans movement than Ryan does? Does anybody think that JD Prescott feels differently about the trans movement than Ryan does? You know the reason why, and I'm not saying you should like any of them if you don't want to. The thing is with Scott Alexander, he'll smile to your face and he'll shake your hand and he'll go, and then he'll talk about you behind your back. At least with Ryan, you know where you are. You know, I don't like that asshole. Okay, that is what it is. But I can tell you, if we remove the national politics out of it, Jessica Piper is not fighting so you know where every dime of the county council goes. Jessica Piper is not fighting so citizens can have a chance to speak at meetings. Jessica Piper is not fighting to make sure that citizens can walk into the auditor's office and have their government businesses done, their government business. Ryan Webb is doing that. If you want to talk about someone who is fighting for transparency and communication in government, there is nobody else doing that more so than Ryan. There might be things that you don't like about Ryan. I get it. But your other choices on the ballot are worse. Worse because they believe the same thing Ryan believes. They're just not willing to come out and say it. Plus, they'll talk about you behind your back. Plus, they're not willing to be transparent and open at the government level. Now, that's not my fault for telling you that. You could have filed to run against Webb. You could have filed to run against Jessica Piper. I told you guys for 2 years this election was coming. We talked about it on here nightly, every night, until the deadline, until the night before the deadline. If you want to file, get ready. I started telling you guys, you need to start talking to your teams. I would love to see a Muncie election again, an election anywhere, where there were 4 or 5 Republicans running and 4 or 5 Democrats running. Because when that happens, you have a chance to get the best. And look, you might be in a situation where of those 5 candidates, they all suck. But of those 5 candidates, one of them has to suck a little less than all the rest. Now, you might say, well, that's Jessica Piper because she doesn't say the things that Ryan says. She doesn't do the things that Ryan does. Okay, but let's look at Jessica. Let's look at what she does do. What does she do? She's not transparent. She governs from a place of fear. She won't ever give you a straight answer on, is the sky blue? Yes or no? She'll give you that fake smile. I'm just saying, this is the part where I say you get the government you deserve. Because if you don't run because you feel like you can change things, or you don't talk someone that you respect into running, then you're stuck with the people that do. Look, at the end of the day, on May 8th, James King is going to be the nominee going into November, or Stephen Brand is going to be the nominee going into November. One of those 2 people are going to be on the Republican side. Now, everyone could say, well, just abandon the Republicans and everyone vote Democrat. Okay, we're still going to have to deal with one of Brand or King. We also have to be intelligent enough to know it's going to be a while until we can change things. Indiana is in a super duper duper majority GOP state. That's not a good thing. We got to do some things to change that. So until we can, listen, Maybe Brand will be bad. Maybe he'll be horrible. You know how many candidates I push for and I like, and then once they get in, they disappoint me and I don't like them? Lots, because these people tend to disappoint. They all tend to do this for a reason that's not the real reason. Very few do it for a real reason. Let me tell you, Troy Ingram is one of those people. Troy Ingram got into government for a legitimate reason. Troy Ingram. You need to vote for Troy Ingram in District 2. Period. End of story. Ryan Webb might be the biggest asshole walking, but he is attempting to clean the backroom sleaziness of politics out. He's trying to clean it up. Ask the Sproles voters if they're happy. Yeah, look at Sproles. He's a big Christian guy. Ding. Look at Henry County. He doesn't use any kind of bad words. He loves everybody. You think Sproles has nice things to say about people in marginalized areas? We know better than that. In the marginalized communities, we know how Sproles looks at people like that. We know how Sproles looks at everybody. Sproles hates everybody. It's not him. He loves himself the most. Sproles loves everyone except anyone of a different race, religion, opinion. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Maybe a bunch of people got mad at what I'm saying, but this is just me. This is how I am. You just need to think about this. And if you're not happy with the people that are running, you've got to do something about it. Maybe that means you run. Maybe it means you talk someone you support into running. But if after the filing period, if the options are on the ballot, James King or Stephen Brand, hell yes, I'm going to pick Brand. No question. He hates women with authority too. Jack, that's exactly right. That's exactly correct. So those are just some things to think about. I mean, I really wish I could get people. It's okay for you to like a lot of what I say and not like this. It's okay for you to do that. We talk about that on here all the time. It's okay for you to not like some of how I talk, some of how I think, some of how I act. Now let me ask you the hard question. And we'll end with this and let you guys go ponder it. If it's okay for you to like some of what I say and not like some of of things I say, why is it not okay to like some of what Amber says, but not others of what Amber says? Or like some of what Ryan does, but not other things that Ryan does? Maybe you need to ask yourself. Maybe it's okay to despise this person as a figure, as a whatever, but maybe they're doing just enough that makes it the rest of it worthwhile. It's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay to like some of these things and not like some of the things. It's okay to be conflicted. It's okay to have a friend that is of a different political belief than you. It is okay to support someone that has a different political belief than you. And you've only got like 28 more days to decide if you want to try a different direction for Delaware County, or if you want to do the same old, day in and day out, the government officials that look out for themselves first, because there are people running in Delaware County. There's someone running in District 1 who definitely puts themselves first. That is James King. Stephen Brand, he's never been an elected official. I can't tell you how he governs until he's in the hot seat. Maybe we'll like him, maybe we won't. Maybe you'll like him, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll like him, maybe you won't. We don't know. We won't know until he's there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the AF Academy has posted creed that states, "I will not lie, steal, or cheat. I will not condone those that do. We need more people to walk that line." Yes. Yes, David LaRue. Absolutely, brother. Hey, we have a busy week lined up for everyone here for the show. Please do not forget to do all of these things over here on the side if you are on YouTube and have not done them already. Please do that. And we will keep with you. Alva says, can someone registered as an independent or libertarian or Green Party, whatever, vote on May 8th? Or is it only Democrat or Republican? Maybe you should change the way you're registered. That's very good. True. So here's the thing. In the state of Indiana, people aren't technically like registered the way that it is. You don't register with a party. Everybody's registered to vote. Okay. Everybody's registered to vote. And what happens is when you go to the primary, you pull a Republican ballot. And if you do that, then they consider you a Republican or on the way to being a Republican after your second. Or if you pull a Democrat, libertarians can go in and pull a Republican ballot or pull a Democrat ballot. A Green Party can go in and pull a Republican ballot. Everyone can vote on May 7th is our actual voting day. May 8th is when it will be over. And I am glad that we brought that up, because before we get out of here, it is very, very, very important to know that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's kind of funky. Tomorrow's technically the deadline at 11:59, but they've extended it until noon on Tuesday because of the solar eclipse. But if you just say tomorrow's the deadline, then it'll be over. If you have not registered yet, folks, you need to do so. Do not wait any longer. www.indianavoters.com, www.indianavoters.com. Get registered. Do it today. Do not delay. It takes you exactly 3 minutes. I was messaging with someone the other day on Messenger. I sent it to him, and while we were messaging, the person sent it, done it, did it. It was boom, bang, pow, fast. I mean, very, very, very easy. www.indianavoters.com. Indiana Voters with an S at the end.com. You only have until 11:59 tomorrow. 11:59 tomorrow in the Indiana area. So please do not delay. Voter registration ends for the 2024 primary election on Monday, April 8th, 2024. Get registered or check and or update your registration at indianavoters.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good evening. Thank you for everything. Kills me how people that don't vote are the biggest complainers. I know it's amazing. It just absolutely gets me. It absolutely gets me. And the people who are registered and know what to do, but they're like, oh, I'm just going to wait out the primary. It didn't matter. And this primary matters, folks. It absolutely matters. So don't screw around. It is very important. All right, you guys have a great evening. God bless. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully the eclipse don't get us. Good night.